graduation, I became a software developer with L&T. I was trained to use MVC5 framework. I worked with languages like C#. I also have experience with Python. Right after I started working for a year, and I was sort of experimenting myself with data analytics and different fields in computer science, and I think data science was what I found very interesting for me. Around the first year of my work experience, I sort of wanted to dabble around with different technologies and see what interested me. And I found that working with data, trickling down all this information that we get, and then translate and make useful business decisions really helped me. So I think the past 1 year was kind of maturing my way into data science. It started off slowly. I was a developer, then I was doing a little bit of analytics, and then I decided that perhaps this could be something that I would really like to dedicate my time as a career. So yeah, that's why I decided to pursue data science. The reason why I chose the master's program was how structured it was, right? There was a beginner level, there was an intermediate level, and then there was a more advanced level. And the way that the courses and the syllabus was designed was to sort of pave the path from each level of learning. I enrolled in a lot of courses with EDX, a lot of courses with Coursera. What was missing was mentorship. I felt that I did not have a guidance figure that could sort of show me the way around, say, hey, this is what you have to learn, this is what is happening in the industry, this is the news. And there was not a strong community. The courses there were very introductory, this is how it goes. There wasn't a follow-up by the teacher. There was no follow-up exercise. There was no a forum where your questions were actively answered. There was no final project to really test how well you know what you know. And I think those are very crucial to learning. Professor Pavlov's ProtoPuppies was very funny, very engaging, and he answered every student's question. And not only that, I think I really enjoyed being in a classroom, a virtual classroom full of students with the same interest, and very often they were asking questions that I had not even thought of. So the learning was not only from the professor, it was also from my peers. I wasn't very sure how it was going to work. Is everything going to be fine? Will I get a chance to ask a question and have my question answered? There are all these doubts, but it went as perfect as it could go. What I found very difficult was the practical usage of those concepts. In Univ.AI, you do a lot of practical exercises. These exercises are not just designed to help you do it, but help you learn how well you can use what you know. And I think, in a nutshell, you sit in your computer, you learn all these algorithms. It's very easy to execute them, but the challenge is learning to execute them well and execute them purposefully. So your model has a meaning and some usefulness to the world. I think that was the most challenging part about AI1. To be very honest, I think I prefer a virtual classroom to an actual classroom because you're in your bedroom or wherever your setup is, right? And there's only you and your system, and you have to focus, right? There's something very one-on-one about that interaction, even though you are in a classroom of 50 people. Each of your questions are answered, and also the etiquettes of Zoom, right? When one person talks, the rest of us mute ourselves, which sort of helps all of us pay attention to the content that is delivered. The lecture itself is scheduled at 9 to 10 to 11, right? Which is a time that most of us are off. So it's very working, professional friendly. Yes, your schedule does get jam-packed because the content is pretty rigorous and they really ensure that you know what you know. But it's time worth investing again. Of course, a master's program will not be a piece of cake, but I guess there is fruit there will bear. Yeah. The course platform was for most parts very easy to navigate, and I think it was easy to ask the questions. I think Ed particularly allows you to sort of categorize what your post is about. So you can specify whether your question is about the project, is about the homework. You can sort of tag it. So when somebody wants to answer, they'll know what that is about. And usually you get a response at around 2 to 3 hours. So I think for most part, the platform was very easy to navigate. Lab sessions is when you and a group of students are put together in a breakout room and you start working on the lab exercises, right? And this is crucial. Usually you almost always get put into a breakout room with different group of people. By the time you complete your course, you realize that you've interacted with almost everybody in your class. I think when you sit through a lecture, there'll always been some parts that you paid more attention to and another person that grasped it really well. So when four of you are working on an exercise, there's a lot of ideas that are exchanged, like oh maybe that was it. So I guess engaging in a problem as a team, that spirit was really fostered in the lab, and it really served as information exchange from what we've understood and how we would tackle the problem. Yeah. With other courses, I think I would definitely look at the syllabus first, read about the subject a little bit. I think Univ.AI also offers free reading assignments that comes with each class. I think I would go and try to really understand before I step in, so I'd be able to ask better questions in class. And because what was happening was I read the reading assignments and I attended the lectures, but then when I was actually doing the exercises, I was getting all these new questions that I had to post on Ed later. So I thought perhaps if I had tried a little bit on my own and then come, and I would have been able to sort of really understand why we do how we do things. I would suggest that you really attend every lecture and really complete all the exercises, because putting in that effort will really benefit you. Don't be afraid to ask any questions, because this is a very open and welcoming community where students really help each other out, TAs help you, really help you, professor also helps you. So you never lack help. All you have to do is ask for it. So go ask any questions that you have, and don't ever think, perhaps that's a dumb question, because you're going to get an answer. Fortunately, so far I have not had any issue with Univ.AI. Actually, I think the TAs are very present. The professor really ensures they answer the questions. The project is difficult enough but doable, but it's very challenging. And with every new course, I get to meet so many interesting students that I get to interact with and team up with them for the final project. And yeah, it's been a very good experience so far.